Hey guys, how's it going? It's Janie over here at Janie Sweets, and welcome back to another Friday Fixes video where you ask me your cake questions and I do my best to answer them for you. Now this week's topic is all about fondant covered cake and why does it sweat when you take it out of the refrigerator. So how many times has this happened to you? You've worked so hard on a cake, you put it in the refrigerator, and then you take it out the next day to keep working on it, and it looks like it literally took a shower. The cake is drenched, there's a puddle on your bench, and then the colors are bleeding, especially if you colored it dark red or like a navy color or black. Oh my gosh, it will bleed and it will ruin your entire work. That has definitely happened to me, and then you're just crying on your kitchen floor and it's a mess. So these are the things that I have found that has helped me not have it sweat as much. So first thing you need to do is to wrap your mind around one concept. You kind of can't prevent it from happening. I'm sorry, I know that's not the answer that you want in this video. I mean, you want to know how to stop it, but you have to first understand what is happening. What is happening is called condensation. And think about fondant. Fondant is made out of sugar, mostly sugar, and it's gonna absorb the moisture in the refrigerator and then release it once you take it out of there and you put it in a warmer environment. It's basic physics. There's nothing you're doing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the fondant. It's just what happens. I mean, think about putting water inside of a freezer and then wanting it not to turn into ice. It's kind of not possible. However, with that being said, there are things that you can do to help it not happen as bad, or sometimes it actually doesn't happen at all. Number one, make sure that the temperature of your refrigerator is not too much different than the temperature of your room. What I mean by that is, if you've ever taken meat, out of the freezer and then put it out on your kitchen counter, walked away, when you come back, there's like a big puddle and a mess, right? But if you take it out of the freezer and then you let it defrost in the refrigerator and then put it on your kitchen counter, it doesn't really sweat as much. What is happening is that you're letting the condensation process happen gradually. So it's not like a shock from super cold to super hot. So what you want to do is try to have the fridge temperature as close as possible to your room temperature. So you're either gonna do that by increasing your fridge temperature or decreasing your room temperature. So if you are working in the summer, that's when I tend to find that my fondant sweats a lot more, because I live in a cold climate. In the winter, it's not it's not hot at all. So what I do is I make sure I have my AC going in the room. I have fans going. If you have a dehumidifier, make sure you have that going in your room. Whatever you can do to bring that room temperature down, you want to go ahead and try to do it. The second thing is try to bring your fridge temperature up. Now, my fridge temperature is not super cold. It's not at the last setting. It's right in the middle, enough to keep it cold so that it doesn't, go bad and stays firm, but also enough to make sure that it's not frozen on the inside. So what I mean by that, if you look at your fridge, it has dial buttons. So all you have to do is just make sure that it's not on the last number, and you should be good. However, I know that some of you guys don't have a separate fridge to put your cakes in. I do, which is why it's easy for me to do. But if you have, a fridge where you keep like your eggs and ham and deli products and all that stuff, like milk, you definitely don't want to make that warm, because then your products are gonna go bad. So if that's not an option for you, just make sure that room temperature is as cold as you can get it, and it'll definitely decrease the amount of condensation that you get. Second thing is, if you don't have access to any of these things, you can also put that fondant covered cake inside of a cardboard box and then place that in the fridge. And once you take it out, leave it on the counter for a little bit, like about 10-15 minutes before you take it right out of the cardboard box. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of magic they put in cardboard boxes, but it will absorb a lot of the moisture, I find. It won't sweat as much. Try to do the experiment, like put the cake in a cardboard box and then, you know, put another one that you've made the same time, you've made the same way, in just plain, just sitting there in the refrigerator. Then take both of them out and you will find that the one that's in the cardboard box won't sweat as much as the other one. So like I said, I don't know why that happens. I just know that it happens, and it has definitely worked for me. So see if that works for you if you don't have access to you know, bringing your room temperature down or bringing your fridge temperature up. Now the last thing that I can tell you guys that I find works for me is the type of fondant that you use. Believe it or not, not all fondant is made the same, especially if you buy them. Like every brand has different things that they put in it. I mean, it's the same basic recipe, but they all have different additives and preservatives and that they put inside of them. And some of them actually work better for warm weather. And actually, I know of a brand in particular, which I will try to find and link for you guys below if I can find it online, that is specifically for warm weather. Like if you live in the Caribbean or like Australia or something where it gets super, super hot, you can definitely try those brands because it helps not, you know, sweat as much and not melt as fast. So if you can't find those brands, I find that marshmallow based fondant, like homemade fondant, is horrible when it comes to this. I thought all fondant was gonna do that, but I used to use just marshmallow fondant, and then I realized that seriously the cake becomes gummy if you try to like take it out of the fridge and then into, you know, a very hot room. So I don't use marshmallow fondant in the summer. I only use it in the winter when it's not as cold outside. Wilton or Satinized, they're okay. So those are the ones that I will use in the winter, or in the summer month. If you find that your cake is sweating a lot and you really can't stop it and you have to work on it, what I find is to work on it for 10-15 minutes at a time and then put it in the fridge. Let it come down, you know, solidify again, and then take it back out of the fridge, work on it for 10-15 minutes, put it back in the fridge. I mean, you just have to kind of be flexible with it. Remember, you are working with something that is edible. It's not clay. You can't really manipulate it all that much. It will melt on you, it will spoil. So just don't be too hard on yourself. Work around it and then just kind of call it a day. So I hope this video was informative and that you've learned something, and definitely let me know in the comment section below if there's anything that I did not answer for you. If you found other ways that has helped you, definitely also share down below so that other people can try it and see if it works for them. But until next time, you guys, I will see you in the next video. Love you. Talk to you next time. Bye.